Welcome back, America. See the world. See Dwayne's World. Dwayne's World is Dwayne's podcast. And today I don't know what he's going to play because I've actually played all but one clip of the cut sheet that he gave me this morning. I'm about to play that last clip right now. Dwayne, are you with me? Are you in the studio this morning?
I'm right here.
All right. Here's cut 21, Boris Sanchez at CNN. Now, let me preface it by saying I don't know Boris. I think he does a fine job as an anchor. He's a news reader. He went to Syracuse, good journalism school. He worked in Miami. He's a good presence on TV. I do not have an opinion about his politics. I've never met him. Here's cut 21.
It's fair to say that analysts have pointed out that progress that was made with the Abraham Accords and the potential for Israel to normalize relations with Saudi Arabia is ultimately what led to Hamas's attack. Nevertheless, sir, I do have one more question for you.
Still think he doesn't have an opinion?
I just have to say I need to hear it again because that's what you said it said, and I couldn't believe he would say that. Let's play cut 21 again.
It's fair to say that analysts have pointed out that progress that was made with the Abraham Accords and the potential for Israel to normalize relations with Saudi Arabia is ultimately what led to Hamas's attack. Nevertheless, sir, I do have one more question for you.
Did Vivek say anything in response that you cut out?
No, I don't know. I just grabbed the question because the question to me was just it's Trump's fault that we had October 7th. It's Pompeo's fault. It's just absurd.
I don't know of any analyst who says Hamas,
not one,
which existed long before. I want people to know Hamas's charter predates the Abraham Accords. Hamas took over Gaza in 2006. The Abraham Accords was a breakthrough for peace between Bahrain, the United Arab Emirates, and Morocco, and eventually Saudi Arabia, that in no way led Hamas to be anything different than Hamas has always been. They've been plotting this, planning this, building the tunnels for 15 years. I really have no idea where that comes from.
It comes from we hate Trump. Everything is Trump's fault. We've got to find a way to make everything Trump's fault. So again, still think that you can't maybe glean a little insight as to where Boris stands?
The Abraham Accord. I don't know if someone told them. Look, my assumption is there are news readers. That's what they call them in the United Kingdom. There are people who just read what they're told. I don't know if Boris has an independent intellectual curiosity or knowledge base. He was a White House correspondent. But, I know Ambassador Otaiba, who is the ambassador from the UAE. I know Jared Kushner. We've talked about the Abraham Accords on the show. I've interviewed Ambassador Friedman. I've talked to Donald Trump about it. Robert O'Brien's one of my closest friends. Mike Pompeo is a very dear friend. The Abraham Accords had nothing to do with Hamas. They did not prompt Hamas. Hamas charter dates back decades, and it is committed to the destruction of Israel. I cannot believe he said
Freeing
that.
up money to Iran is what helped lead to 10/7.
I just can't believe he said that. Play it one more time, please.
It's fair to say that analysts have pointed out that progress that was made with the Abraham Accords and the potential for Israel to normalize relations with Saudi Arabia is ultimately what led to Hamas's attack.
So what I want people to know
plural.
Wait. There may be one or two people out there, like John Mersheimer, who have said the Abraham Accords prompted Hamas to act in order to preempt an expansion of the Abraham Accords of Saudi Arabia. That would be an erroneous understanding of history, and it would be placing way too much credibility. And the journalistic malpractice here is not putting that proposition to Vivek, who would have lacerated, but saying it as a sideswipe on the way out. Are you covering that on Dwayne's World today?
No. Because you covered it. By the time I tape my podcast this afternoon, there's going to be a whole different news cycle. Now, on the issue I'm going to tape today, I'm actually going to be talking to John Ashbrook. I'm grabbing one of the four horsemen of the
Oh my goodness, you're doing Ruthless podcasting?
I'm doing one of the four horsemen of the Ruthless podcast.
You might mention to him that I have the merch and you don't.
I'm trying to work on merch.
I've got the friend of the program right here. I have the merch.
Fine.
I told people last night or 2 nights ago at dinner. I told Two Speed Tony, also known as Tony Commercial Real Estate, and Mark the Digger, and their wonderful spouses, that the best conservative podcast on politics is Ruthless because the guys know what they're doing. The fellas know their stuff.
I have known and talked to John Ashbrook since like
I will be
2005.
listening.